Hi. When we've sort of been speaking about what are the most asked questions about insurance, one of the things that we do get asked fairly often is what is the difference between the life insurance, trauma insurance and income protection, and how all these insurances work. I think probably the best way to actually explain how all of this does play out is by telling a real story about one of our clients who's been on claim, and as sad as it is, it gives a good idea of how each one of these insurances will work and react at the time of claim. Our client is a 40-year-old gentleman who had been riding his push bike, and when he was on his push bike ride, the wheel of the bike got caught and unfortunately he went over the handlebars and went into hospital with spinal injuries and is now tetraplegic. This is a terrible outcome for him and his family, but luckily we did have some insurances in place for him. Initially, when we did the claim, we applied for the total and permanent disablement insurance and for his income protection insurance. Unfortunately, the client did not have trauma insurance. In this instance, if he had of, he would have actually been paid out the trauma insurance because any of the plegias are covered under a trauma insurance policy, and so is cancer, heart attack, stroke, up to about 32 different definitions. With the trauma insurance policy, it would have actually paid out a lump sum up front, tax-free, which would have been immediately handy for his family to start using at that stage to help cover his medical costs. As I said, however, in this instance, that client didn't have trauma insurance. His income protection insurance was partly based under his employer's super fund and partly based in a personal policy that he held. The personal policy did respond immediately. The policy that was under the employer's super fund had to wait for 90 days before he started receiving payments for that. I think that's another good thing to remember, is that if you do have insurances under employer super funds, be sure that you are aware of the different terms and conditions, and maybe have your advisor have a look at those when they're doing your other insurances to make sure that they're all going to work if you do need them. Because at a time like this, you really do need to be getting those insurance monies paid up to help you and your family along. As you can imagine, there's a lot of stress for the family involved while someone is in hospital and you're waiting to see to what percentage of recovery they may or may not have. As this family tried to cope with everything, their total and permanent disablement policy that was written outside of superannuation was paid to the clients just after 3 months from the accident. This was once again a great help. The rest of the total and permanent disablement insurance was actually held under the employer's super fund as well, and it did in that instance take another 12 months before those monies were released to the family. And I have to say that is a considerable amount of time, and there probably has been a bit of financial duress during that time, as well as upset for the family. So as you can see, having all of your bases covered, having trauma insurance as well as income protection and as well as total and permanent disablement and life cover is the best way to make sure that you are totally protected and that your family are totally protected should something happen to you.